Interesting release announced this week, a year to the day after it was released on PC and PlayStation 5. Game Science's Black Myth Wukong has been announced for an Xbox release. It's coming August the 20th. Obviously, this has brought back a whole range of debate about whether it was a platform exclusive for a console exclusive, rather, for PlayStation consoles. And obviously, we have seen a lot of examples of games arriving a year or a set number of years after their initial launch. I think the last one was probably Death Stranding, which arrived like literally 5 years after the original PS4 launch.
Oh, yeah.
And so is there or was there an exclusivity arrangement with Black Myth Wukong? The evidence kind of suggests yes, but then we have this comment from supporter Loond. Sure, I've got that pronunciation wrong. Anyway, important context with regards to Black Myth Wukong. They seem to really like August the 20th. Game was first announced on August the 20th, 2020. Was announced to be on UE5 on August 20th, 2021. Another trailer on August 20th, 2022. And first hands-on preview on August 20th, 2023. Game Science also made another comment on their FAQ regarding the delayed release on Xbox. What do you think, John?
Is there actually... I'm not aware. Is there like some historical context? Is there something about that date that's important that I'm unaware of?
I don't know.
Because that's, it seems arbitrary, but like when they put it like that, with all those things always hitting on that date, I mean...
we have this supporter comment from Bespoke ! Also, August the 20th is the 17th day of the 7th Chinese lunar month, which is when that culture believes is the Monkey King's birthday. The reason PlayStation has never commented on these allegations is because they never comment on silly Xbox fanboy claims. Well, you say silly Xbox fanboy claims, but this was a claim made by Microsoft, or heavily hinted by Microsoft that there was a platform. And to be fair, numerous journalists with very good sources corroborated that there was some kind of arrangement in place with Sony. Anyway, going back to Bespoke ! Comment, and see, the thing about being a publicly traded company is they cannot make quote-unquote secret deals because that would be withholding information from its investors who need to know this kind of information. I'm not sure about that. I pray that when Microsoft shuts down Xbox, that all of its fanboys turn into pixie dust.
Okay, that's a bit much, but
bit extreme, isn't it?
I mean, that's great, but okay. I think the Xbox will live on beyond the box,
Yeah.
We still, maybe there'll be an Xbox icon on your Windows PC you click on, and it'll look like an Xbox, but everyone will have forgotten what it was. Kind of like the floppy disk, right? So...
I think that's a bit much, Alex. I think Xbox is kind of like in a kind of weird position that it's kind of, as I said in the past, by osmosis sort of transformed into this kind of multi-platform entity simply by virtue of the colossal acquisitions it's made. And that has kind of presented an identity crisis for what was beforehand a traditional console platform holder,
right,
like PlayStation, like Sony. They've got to adapt. I don't know what that's really got to do with Black Myth Wukong coming to Xbox a year late. I think from my perspective, I'm interested to see the port for two reasons. Mm-hmm. First of all, the PlayStation port is weird. Let's make no bones about it. It underperforms compared to what the hardware should be doing. They've got that weird thing about frame generation being used in the performance mode, even on the PlayStation 5 professional version of the game. That's weird. Also, the fact that they're using low-resolution textures when there are actually high-resolution textures available, and the PC version fits those high-resolution textures within 8 gigs of VRAM. There's a lot of weirdness about BMW, and I expect the Xbox version, like a lot of Unreal games, will either be a bit faster, a bit slower, or otherwise identical to the PS5 version. But the big question is going to be about, obviously, the whole Series S situation. What's going on with Series S? And I think pared back settings, lower resolution, and 30 FPS. That's my guess.
Yeah.
What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, it could just have one mode. Or there's nothing preventing them from using their strange FSR 3 mode
of course, they could use frame generation if they really wanted to.
Yeah, which it would be probably a really bad experience given the resolution constraints. But I think one thing that was really making this game weird, it was using such a vintage of Unreal. According to the EXE, it was like 5.0, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.0.
I mean, that's what the EXE can say. Obviously, they may be picking and pulling from other branches because they are using the NVRTX branch at some point, which will have later stuff. But it's just weird. And I felt like Oliver said when it came out initially, it's like one of those, like someone who had never experienced what a console was and they had to like somehow make modes for it. And they just chose the most random stuff. And and that's what it really felt like. And I hope maybe, like, do you remember when Bloober ported that one game, the name is escaping me, to PlayStation 5? It was like a launch title for Xbox Series X. What was it, John? You covered it back.
The Medium?
The Medium.
The
yes.
Medium. It
When
was
they
not a launch title, though.
Oh, it was like, was it a little bit after?
It came out within the first year, though.
Yeah, that's my bad. Sorry. But like when they reported that to PlayStation, they made a lot of better decisions about their tech makeup, and the game ran better and arguably looked better as a result on the PlayStation consoles. It had less stuff technically, but they did much better things with it within their frame time budget. And I hope that's what they could use this Xbox version for, and then maybe port some of those learnings to the kind of strange PlayStation version. And it apparently has sold really well on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So,
it's
but
a
it
pretty good
surprised
game,
me,
you know.
considering the game's totally weird performance. I guess people are okay with that, but
They are, Alex. Newsflash. Most people are actually okay with bad performance.
yeah,
Seriously.
I guess so. Yeah, seriously. But that like original balance mode, it was just, or it's just like, oh my God, like, or even just a performance mode.
That's always the thing, Alex. You got to think about is like we're like enthusiasts, to put it lightly, in a way that most people really aren't. And a lot of the stuff that we do care a lot about, like there's just our audience cares, but there's a lot of people buying these games that don't.
Yeah,
they don't even notice it.
Can I give you a weird anecdote? Most people
Please.
don't notice. Most people don't notice bad frame pacing in film and or television. And I recently went to a concert. Steven Wilson, wonderful musical artist. He had an amazing like 8K screen behind him at the Friedrichstadtpalast here in Berlin, massive stage in Germany. And for this amazing 1 hour presentation of gorgeous rendered visuals, it's like 40 minutes of it were badly frame paced, and I had to avert my eyes because it was like bothering me. It was like, imagine like you want to go to the cinema and it's like stuttering all the time.
Yeah, you pay good money for that, Alex.
I did pay. It was like 120 euros per ticket.
Wow.
My goodness. But yeah, so you're out there. You can't see frame pacing issues, but unfortunately, I hope a lot of people can. It's so bothersome to me. But either way. Wukong.
What was the name of that arena again?
Friedrichstadtpalast. It's actually a stage where they usually do like showtime, like show tunes shows, like really big entertainment kind of stuff, like the equivalent of like a Las Vegas production.
I wanted to do a works fine on my whatever it is you just said, but I just can't pronounce it.
It's okay. It's like in the center city. It's a pretty big place. I've never been there before, but otherwise gorgeous presentation. Steven Wilson, you're a genius. But what the hell was that?
We've kind of gone off on a massive tangent on this one.
Sorry, everyone in the audience.
Black Myth Wukong is coming to Xbox consoles on August the 20th. And who knows what's going to happen next year on August the 20th. Seems to be some sort of tradition with these guys. Anyway, I digress.
Sequel.
We've digressed. Yeah.
Switch 2 version.
The sequel.
Oh, wait.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
I think it could do it.
I mean, a
think
30
it could do
mode,
some form of
potentially.
it,
It was
yeah.
really low on the CPU, like utilization. We found like 3600 could run the game at 60. So
I can say that I had it playing really well on the One X player here.
Mm-hmm.
not
It
bad.
actually ran quite okay. It was good looking.